All right. Welcome everyone to today's meeting. So we're going to go through the normal way we usually do it. We're going to go through your demos, we'll do the retro, and then we'll go through the tasks for next week. Sorry, where is my mind?
Getting close to the end of the year though.
All right, so any of the teams can start. You show us the functionality in the browser and then you walk us through your code. Anyone can start. Okay, let me enable sharing. So which team is going first?
I'm happy to volunteer to go first. Victor, that's cool.
All right.
Maybe I'll let you first go, Victor, in production.
Are you able to share?
Are you speaking to?
Okay. Cluster, are you able to share?
I can share, sure.
All right.
Sure, I can share. I think, yeah, we can try that. Can you see my screen? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Victor, did you want to go ahead? Maybe, I'm not sure, maybe Ida and Rachel might want to go first. I'm not sure. Maybe we should go second.
Okay. Is it about Victor? Is his network giving troubles?
Yeah, I'm not hearing from him.
All right. Okay. Michelle's team can go then. Okay. If they're ready.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Sorry about background noise. I'm somewhere not home. Okay, so I'll share my screen shortly.
Mide, if you're talking, you're on mute, so we can hear you.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so I said good evening once again. So this week, our task was to create a checkbox. And so here, and the checkbox will automatically uncheck after 24 hours. And we've been told that we should not enable the uncheck, like we should not enable the individual to uncheck on their own. That will be a later issue. So this is what it does. If you do this, you can't uncheck, but this will automatically uncheck after 24 hours. To enable, because it's believed that the user will not want to buy these items within the next 24 hours. So I'll be showing the code and taking you through what we did. Okay. Can you see this? My code?
No, just the app.
Okay. So I need to share. All right, so here is the code. And what we have here is the list item. And then we worked on two files this week. We worked with this list item and the Firebase. And we had a lot of headache. And I know Chiamaka was saying that she wanted to know how we did. Okay, so we're supposed to update this from whatever we do here. And so what we have is this is the checkbox here. And then what we did was that we updated directly. So if you click on the checkbox, we have undo change, and this item is checked. Is what we have here. This is what is being passed to the database. Okay, so we come here and we undo the change. That is, if you check your button. Please, can you see my screen, or should I increase the size?
You're fine. You're fine.
It's okay, yeah.
Okay, so this undo change and use callback. So if the item is checked, is false. That means if the item is unchecked. So we await update item, and then we pass in the list token. The ID is checked. So here, what we are doing here is that we are checking the item. Date last purchased. So we generate a new date. That is the exact time in which you click on that item. And then we increase your purchase by 1. And this function here, this use effect that we have here, takes care of the automatic unchecking of the item. And so we have, this is just the 24 hours in milliseconds. And let calculate date is just the item that the date was last purchased. So what I did here was that if we have item the date last purchased, either it is null or there is a time the item the date last purchased, and I converted it with this to milliseconds. Either this or null. Because you know some of those things have never been clicked. So if we don't put this at all, it's going to throw an error. And then we got the current date, the current time. We can actually put these two together, but I started to separate it. And so this timer actually calculates the elapsed time, like the number of hours since you last clicked. So here I passed in the current time, less the date it was last purchased. That means the time that was captured when you clicked. And then we just check that if item is checked, that means it's checked. And timer, the difference here is greater than or equals to 864 whatever I think million in milliseconds, 24 hours. We update it automatically, and then we'll check it, and then we still pass in the same values. The reason why this one passes is because it's passed here. So we are just returning the same variables back. But what we are changing majorly is this. So that's that for our code. It was not a walk in the park because we're not clear about the changes we're supposed to make and all that. Radar came in, Aristos also came in, and then he was able to explain what he wanted us to do and that. So that's it. Thank you, everyone.
Well done, Mide. Can we also see the Firebase console, like as you're checking how it's being updated?
Yeah, sorry, unfortunately I don't have my extra screen, so I'm going to be looking for the Firebase console. Okay, okay, so that means I need to share it. Okay. Okay, my test list is what I have there. Okay. Um, okay, so this is the Firebase, and I want to look for something that has not been clicked. Okay, so we have a test. The name of the item is test again, and so if I click here, if we come here, we can see that checked is now true, and then the date last purchased has been passed there, and total purchases is now 1.
All right, all right.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions, any comments?
Yeah, good job explaining it. That was a really thorough walkthrough of the code and everything. I'd be curious to see, like, if you were to change that date to be more than 24 hours ago, like just to see it in the UI that it unchecked the checkbox. Did you do that?
I have a related question, kind of, to Andrew.
Okay.
So I'm curious why you stored the date to last purchased as seconds, because you can see there that number there is for the date last purchased, it's in seconds.
Yeah, I think this is the
So
last minute change.
yes, so I guess it should be stored
Number.
as date.
Yeah, it was originally stored as date.
So in the code you used something called get time, I believe, and that was stored as and about what Andrew said is because now what Andrew wanted you to do is just to change the date like to a day before, so the item will be unchecked. But now, as you have this is in seconds, you need actually to do a calculation, and that will be.
So
I'm
that
not sure
means, and it's not
if
on
you
the
got
live
me.
code. It's not going to show on the live code. You know what we are showing is a production code. Like this is the web. This is the website. So we need to push that to the this thing before we can do that. We need to do a push and a pull request for that. Are you have I answered your answer? I understand what you're saying. I think we changed to this. This was not new date get time, it was something else. But when we're switching, last minute switching, so but that means we'll change it back. So it gives that time that we actually switch. So if I change this now, it's not going to have any effect here because we need to do a pull request even when I push it. Is that fine?
So I think something else that can work is just to reduce these milliseconds. You can just delete the last one.
I know, but it's not. Is it going to show now? This is the live code, right?
Yeah. And
this is
your
website.
live. And this is your live database. So if you make a modification to the database, it's going to show you. So you can just try to
reduce this.
You can just try to delete the last one and then see if that particular item is unchecked.
This number here, the milliseconds, right?
Your screen is, I think it's freezing.
So.
Yes, this number is the milliseconds.
The date last purchased.
Yeah, it's just in milliseconds. It's not the same format, but it represents the same value of the date. there.
So we can put 5,000. I'm not supposed to do that.
Mida, your
Okay.
screen's not updating for us, so I don't know. Like you may be making changes, but we can't see them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you
Should
may
be
have
able to see my.
need to
Can
hit
you
the
see it now?
optimize for. We see your code now.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I don't
Yeah.
mean the code. Are you making
Oh,
the
no,
modification
yeah.
in the code?
Oh, okay. What do you want me to do?
So I
We're
meant
talking about Firebase.
yeah, the console. So this
The
last
date last
date
purchased.
purchased, yeah. So you can just try to modify the milliseconds so that we can see if that particular item is unchecked. Since you're aiming at checking the item every 24
Oh.
hours, like once 24 hours is over. So you can just
Okay,
remove
meaning
the
I should
last
change
one.
it here.
Yeah, the last one. Just try to remove the last one and then see if the checkbox is unchecked for
I
that
doubt the
item.
last one will work. No,
So
it's
that you can
still too big. The
okay.
value is still too big. Let's see.
It's an order of magnitude. So I think what Reto was getting at is that there's value in having all the formats be the same, and they could either all
Yes.
be in seconds or milliseconds or
Yeah.
all be data objects, but having them all the same
So
makes
that's
it
an
so you can
error
kind of work.
that we changed. Yeah. We changed that. That was a last minute change that was an error. Was not supposed to change to this.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
I mean, I can imagine also wanting to work in milliseconds or seconds because it's easier to do the math, right? But there are methods. There are methods for manipulating the dates that you could also use, which would be another approach. But just
So this
having
is
them all to be the
1.5.
same is probably a good idea.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
That's gonna
it's
be
just
like the same
easier. Just easier to update the date on Firestar when it's on date format.
Yeah. So if you go back to the shopping list now, it should be unchecked. The test again.
It's not unchecked yet because no, it's not.
Or
Maybe you need to
reload
do
the
a
thing.
refresh. You need to reload. Yeah,
Can you refresh?
No. The shopping list.
the shopping list. Yeah.
It's supposed to automatically do that. Okay, so it's still there. So it's not taking this where is it? Okay, so this is test again.
So that's a good
Not
example of
taking
something
this.
that this is something that should be caught in code review. So it takes a little bit of like thought to think through all the cases of how the data might change, how the state of the app might change, to make sure you're meeting all the requirements. So, but you put something together in a code review. It's kind of a mutual responsibility. But making sure that all the functionality works is something that should happen sort of at that stage. So I don't know if this has been through code review already or not.
Yeah, it's been through code review. Yes.
Okay. So it's just there may be a matter of sort of testing some of the edge cases in code review to make sure that it works how it's expected to.
I guess you need to put like more than and not less. I guess you need to put more because it's checking if 24
okay.
hours has passed. I believe that's what it's doing.
My guess is that the is checked is part of the issue. That there's two things that are trying to tell the app whether the checkbox should be checked. Does that make sense? And so in the app, you have to account for both of those things, or the is check needs to be updated somehow automatically if the date's passed or something.
Okay, so this will be looked at, but previously before we changed most of the code, we did the test and it worked. And we were able to actually test it if we are checked, but we have to switch things around. So I think that's where the working is more sorted.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Well done, Mide and Michelle. You guys did a great job. So I was really interested in knowing how it goes during the week, and I was always checking Slack to see if you guys are making any updates or dropping any, clarifications. So when I was reading the task on Sunday, it looked tricky. So I knew it was going to have, it was not going to be so straightforward. So well
Yeah,
done.
this is a pretty meaty issue to work through. Like there's a lot going on, a lot of state to manage. So
Yeah.
Well done.
And of course, we have the last 2 weeks to refactor and update and clean up and everything. So yeah. All right. So Victor and Clesta. So let's see yours now.
Okay, I'll share my screen. You can see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So our role was to implement a function that informs the user if their list is empty. So I will demo it on the live website, and Cluster will show you the code. So okay, in the home page, if a user has no list, they can click the create a new list button, and it will take them to the list view where they get the prompt. Now this is what we worked on. A prompt that tells the user their list is empty and gives them a functionality to move to the add item view. So in this case, if the user clicks the add item, they're taken to the add item view where they can now add a new item to their list. So that was all we worked on this week. I think Lester should share the code now.
Okay, if you could let me know if you can see my screen, okay?
Mhm.
Okay, so we decided to do a ternary operator. So we're under the list component. So here we decided to check if we have data. If we have data, then show us the form. So it would be the filter with the label and the input, so you can search through the items, and also a list of the items. But if there is no data to show, if there's nothing on the list, then show us the welcoming prompt, which is your shopping list is currently empty. And there we have the button, which will navigate us to the add item page view. There we decided to use navigate from React Router DOM, which we put it into a variable. Then we used it upon clicking the button.
Nice.
Yeah, so if anyone has any questions.
Yeah, this issue is so much more straightforward than the other one. Yeah, that's nice. I mean, it seems yeah, it's a nice elegant solution to it.
Yeah. And it works really well. So they're able to see the prompts and then the button to go to the add item. So yeah, good job. So are there more comments, questions, or observation?
I just would like to back to the issue that Midi had, just to check if it's working or if there is a bug. And I think the way we need to update that the last purchase is to add 24 hours in millisecond. So with just like whatever number was there, just to add to it this long, large number in millisecond. Wait, I'll drop it in chat.
Actually, yeah, sorry for interrupting, Reda. Actually, the point is that since we stored before the date in the date format, but now we store it in milliseconds. If you see the code, we have item.datelastParses.seconds, which is not valid since it's just a number. So we just need to keep that into item.datelastParses since this is in milliseconds, and just do the difference between the two numbers there. Yeah.
Okay.
So that should make it work.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we had so many back and forths with Meet and Rachel yesterday and today. So it was a lot of things and a lot of work to do, but and we missed that. But yeah, it's that small change that needs to be addressed. And I usually find more useful to work with dates in milliseconds because it's more straightforward for everyone, especially when you have to do with backend and
especially with the math and everything, right? So
yeah,
I like the group solving problem solving though. That's the way that you're all working together. I'm gonna drop. I need to get to the other groups meeting, but really good to see you all, and I'll be back at your last meeting just to kind of see the final product once kind of everything's done. So good to see you all. Take care.
Thank you for dropping by.
I also, guys, noticed a small bug that we have on our app, but I didn't mention it on the code reviews because it was a little bit out of context, but we would need to address it now. And that is when we don't have created a list. Let me share with you for a moment to show you what's going on. Where is it? Share screen, yeah. Okay. Let me hide that for a moment. No, I want that. Perfect. Okay, let me find my list and delete it for a moment. I need to find my list first, so just give me a sec because I'm not sure which list I have now. Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, so yeah, that should be it. Can I delete that, or I'm not sure if I can delete that actually from here?
Yes, you can.
That one.
So you can also delete your token.
There it is. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I could, but since I'm already here. Perfect. So I also have to delete my token from the application, right? Because otherwise, yeah, perfect. So you see now that I am on the shopping list, okay? And if I see here that, okay, I don't have a list created yet, but I am able to go to add item and try to add an item. And of course, nothing can happen because I don't have a list created yet, but still we should look for implementing a way to show a warning to the user or something like that, because at the moment, you know, if you're here and you press to add an item and you try to add an item here, of course you cannot because you don't have a list. So maybe a simple error message or something like that, because I checked on the issues page and we don't have an issue for that in the future. So some of the two teams could, you know, could put it along with their issue to handle that.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be last 2 weeks actually, when it was supposed to be the team that redirects the user to the home page if they don't have a token. This was supposed to be taken care of then, but we skipped it then. So last week we also talked about it, and I think Clester and Victor wanted to take care of it this week, but I guess they couldn't do it. But we've already taken note of that from last week's meeting, and probably if we have a less complicated issue this week too, the team can also add it, and so we don't leave everything for the last week.
Oh yes, Aristos wasn't with us last week.
Yeah, I was not.
Yeah.
In a meeting. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, Clesta, maybe you weren't able to tackle the issue because you asked about it, I believe.
Yeah, we I didn't hear back, so we weren't able to get together. If it has to be paired, then a pair can do it maybe this week if we finish early, or I mean, I'd be happy to do it.
Right.
I know what to
No.
chatting with it with Meta, but otherwise we'll wait for a pair to be available to get it done.
Okay.
So because do you guys think it should be a pair team? So because it's a bug, and it's because it's something that we ought to have done, I think if a team is done with their own task, someone that is available can easily fix it and push. Then you have to create a branch with your name and then push to GitHub. The rest of us can take a look and we merge.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a better solution, because maybe your pair might not be available and then you are available and you want to just do it. You can go ahead and do it, since it's not the team's official task for the week. All right. So we'll go through the issues and then we'll see how we can fix it. But for now, I think it's time for Richo.
Perfect.
Also, just before I forgot, you can also clear the database. You have too many lists there, so you can maybe clear the Firestore. Just some of the collabies. Some of the collabies could clear the Firestore.
Yeah.
There is too many lists there. I noticed there is too many lists, so just delete.
Yeah, we can do that easily.
All right, so I pasted the link for ease, the virtual board now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, each one of us should delete their own list, I guess, because yeah, we wouldn't want to mess with anyone's.
I guess it's okay to just delete all the lists and start a new list. I don't know. It's up to the collabies what they want to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's up to you guys.
I don't know. Do you have any question about that? About how to delete a collection? Aristos was just doing that right now, so he can show you.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty easy. You go to the collection here. You just press the three dots.
Delete
collection. It's pretty easy. And here you just delete the document of the item, and then you have to delete your token from local storage as well. It's pretty easy. So yeah, and also we should address the ticket that we just came up, the issue we just came up. But this is pretty simple. We just have to. This doc here is a nightmare. We just have to do that, delete that like this. It should be fine. But we also need to check that it's working. So someone will have to do that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll probably talk about how we'll go about it during the issues.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Okay, then we can move to the retro, I guess. So yeah, everyone, let's take another 3, 4, or 5 minutes to write something down if anyone wants to. Yeah.
The link is in the chat box.
Yeah. I'm setting it to 4 minutes. Perfect. Everyone ready?
I'm still right.
I think Chiamaka is talking, but I'm not sure she's muted.
No.
No, your window was getting yellow, so I thought you were talking. Okay. So, should we start by reading our points and going through them?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I think I see Klesta is up first, and let's keep rolling after that.
Awesome. So thanks to all the mentors for being active and helpful throughout the week. Being self-taught, I'm grateful for the mentorship as I learn when to ask for help. Thank you.
Yeah, I think Rachel is up next.
Oh, okay. Last week's issue was really tough, and thanks to my pen programming mates, midday for the time and effort spent on fixing the issue. We really learned a lot from this particular issue, and thanks to the mentors who came through for us.
Perfect. Yeah. And for me, it's true that the issues are getting increasingly difficult, especially the issue that Rachel and me had this week was a tough one. So kudos to everyone for keep going.
Okay, so I'm appreciating everyone. This week has been hectic, but the support has been awesome. Thank you, mentors and collabies.
Again, just wanted to say well done, Mita and Rachel, for a difficult issue this week. Quite a long one.
Well done indeed.
So first shout out to the team once again, even though the tickets are getting more complicated, we are still able to approach them as a team and then solve the requirements and meet the ACs. So kudos to everyone.
Kudos to everyone for the hard work and the time they put to finish their issues on time. Great work, everyone.
Good job, Media and Rachel. That was an involving issue. Good job, Cresta, also.
Perfect. Yeah, with what went well, Klista is up again, I see.
Pair programming for the last 2 weeks went well for me. It's really interesting. It's really interesting to code with a team member because I can learn from their point of view of how they do things.
Despite the hours we spent last week trying to work on our issues, we were able to find our way through it. It took quite a while for us to fully understand what we were meant to do. I learned quite new things from my peermates also be there. Thank you.
Oh, I thought I was reading. Hectic but fulfilling week. I learned so much this week. Kudos to my peer collaborator, Rachel. Thanks to all the mentors. You guys are so supportive. Thank you.
We worked on our issue via live share and the state.
All right, for me, what went
Perfect.
well? Team collaboration is getting better among the collabies. They are always in unison. So anytime you ask each of them, they always know what is going on with their task, and that is really nice, a really nice level of collaboration, and it's been improving over time, which is really nice. And that always makes us to reach our targets each week. So yeah, that went well.
And what could have gone better?
So I think consistent, frequent communication is something a team can always improve on.
And I think clearer instructions will actually help.
Yeah,
And
in terms of the issue description, for example.
Yeah, not just issue. Yeah, issue could be well described, edge cases could be touched. Then also when we have comments on the code, we can actually be more descriptive so we don't spend so much time on them.
Okay.
okay, I feel the timing, like for this issue, maybe tougher issue may require more than just 5 hours in a week. So for this week now, we spent close to like 10 hours almost every day, night to day, we try to meet. So I think the timing might an issue.
Code review from the other pair could have been done better. So Collab is like just try to do not like just check if the functionality working, but also, as Andrew said, try like to see the code and understand the code, how it's going. So if you understand what the other pair have done, you will find bugs. It's not necessarily you will find like errors and bugs, but just try to do better in code review. It's really a helpful skill. So try, you can also, I noticed maybe you have a problem with the Firebase console, maybe you're not familiar with it, but you can use it to test the issues. You can manipulate dates, you can manipulate the values of each one and check if things are working. Do not just check the UI, but also try to see for the Firebase, change stuff in Firebase and see if changing in the UI. And that's it.
All right, for me, I think we could improve better on explaining the tickets, even from the description on GitHub to also explaining to collabies, even when they reach out on Slack, so that they'll be able to understand the ACs better in order to cover all of them during implementation. Yeah, that's it for me.
Yes, they can always reach out to us if they need any clarification about anything.
Let's start raising up a hand.
I just wanted to, I guess just bringing it up, because we seem to work on we get together as pairs on Tuesdays, I'm noticing for the most part, and I just wondering what everyone thinks about that, if we should continue doing, if that's okay, or if we should try trying to do it on Mondays, for example. That way it doesn't take so long to merge some issues, especially longer complicated issues as they get more complicated. For myself, like when I try to read the issue before our meeting on Sundays, but I really look at it even later before pair programming while I look at the code, and then we try to prepare program it together. And I had one instance, I think it was our second week maybe, where we really struggled with it, and I was able to go on office hours, which was really helpful. And just sort of wondering if preparing on Tuesday and then having office hour on Wednesday, if that still works for everyone. Maybe it's just me. Just sort of throwing it out there. I don't have a complaint. It was just sort of something I've noticed.
Okay, I think for that it's 100% what you guys want, what works for you. And it's actually because we noticed you guys usually meet for the first time on Tuesday. That's why we always delay the checking up on you, because nothing is happening on Monday, and then on Tuesday we have to give you time to meet for the first time, and then the office hours. So we, in this area, we kind of follow your lead. So we are always checking to see what is going on, and then we follow suit. So I think if Monday is free for everyone, it might be better to meet for the first time on Monday, because you never know how complicated it's going to be, so that you can reach out on time. And then I also bring in Michelle's what could have gone better, her point. So at Collab Lab, we always tell collabies that you should be able to plan the time you come together to meet. And if you find out that you're spending so much time on any task, you should reach out to the mentors. Sorry. So you should be able to reach out to the mentors on time, so that you don't spend a lot of time trying to figure it out for the first time, and then you don't understand, and then you reach out. So once you go through it and then it's not clear, immediately you find out that you're not going to make any headway, just bring it to Slack, and then we'll all solve it. So meeting on time on Monday, and then trying to start solving it earlier on in the week, will give all of us time to jump on it if you get blocked. So that might be a disadvantage of meeting on Monday, but at the end of the day, it still boils down to when you guys are disposed to meet. So yeah, if Monday works for everyone, I guess it will be better. And then secondly, if it starts getting too hard, please bring it to Slack. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
Michelle.
true.
Okay,
So that we can have more time to address and do the code reviews as well. Because if we get to it too late, it always gets a little bit more hectic.
Okay, I wanted to talk about what Reda just said about the Firebase console. I think there should be maybe a day when one of the mentors will walk us through the whole Firebase, because often I've not really fully understand everything about the Firebase. So maybe walk us through the whole Firebase console and whatever thing that's going on there.
Okay,
Yeah,
so do you
sure.
mean how to manipulate the data there?
Yes, and how the functions that were set there, how did it all start from the beginning?
Okay, maybe during one of the office hours, we can open the console, the Firebase console, and then you can ask questions, take it from there. Reda, did you want to say something?
Yeah, just Lesta said that it was super helpful for her to attend office hours, like to solve her problems or issues that was facing. I just want to say that office hours is not the only time we can help you in. We're actually open on all week, and personally I can jump in a call whenever I am available. So whenever you have a problem, so it will be better to start on Monday. That will give us more time. And if you have a problem, you either can just ask directly. If you don't have time for a meet or something like that, you can just put your question directly in Slack. And if it's easy to explain, we will just explain over text. If not, we can jump meeting whenever it's required. So office hours are, I just want to like say office hours are not the only time we can help you. And that's it.
That makes sense. Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. I think asking for help a little bit earlier on, as I said, like as I learned how to ask for help, I mean, yeah, it's a skill of its own, I think, in programming to learn when to ask for help. So maybe asking for help a little sooner than I have to. Yeah.
Yes. Also asking for help over text is a skill as well. Just like how to get help, like how to ask a question. Actually, that's our job. Our job is asking question in Google. So the better you get at asking question, the better programmer you are. So yeah, try to, whenever you have a problem, just drop it in Slack as a text, and then we can see, will we keep discussing it in a thread or we will join meeting. That's it. So just how you should ask is maybe this is what I tried and it's not working. So from there we can give you more like a better answer, because if we now try what you tried and what didn't work for you, we can help. And so we want to give you the same thing that didn't work or something like that. And that's it.
Thank you, Rida.
And I think this is something that can be as a learning model in Collab as well, like how to ask questions. I think it's a really helpful skill.
I think we have communication. Yeah, we have something like that, but it's towards the end,
Okay.
and it's Andrew that usually takes it. Communication for developers or something like that.
Okay.
A learning module. All right.
I think this sums up our goal, I guess.
All right. Thank you, Aristos.
So see you next week. And
So we'll go through the issues now.
yeah, we have the issues. Yeah. I was so confused.
Even I totally forget about.
What?
I am the one.
Forgot.
I'm the
Where
one.
are you?
Yeah, I'm the one.
I really.
I'm the one who's supposed to do, but I totally forgot. You know.
Ow.
I thought
That's like the
I
main
thought,
thing we came here to do.
I thought I already like did it. You know. Okay, so let's go through the issues. I'll share my screen. Wait. So issue 9. The issue 9 is, as a user, I want to be alerted when I am entering an empty item or an item that's already on my list. Users shouldn't be able to add an empty item to their list or add the same item twice. If they try to do this, we need to show them an error message that explains the problem. This way, we will prevent some clutter in their list. The acceptance criteria: show an error message if the user try to submit an empty item. So for this thing right here, you can just show a message under the form or something like that. Do not use. I guess it's better to not use alerts or something from just a simple message is enough. Show an error message if the users try to submit a new item that is identical to an existing name. For instance, if the list contains apples and the user adds apples. So if the name is the same, just show error messages. Show an error message if the user tries to submit a new item that matches an existing name with punctuation and case normalized. For instance, if the list contains apples and the user adds apples or anyway, they are all the same. They are just different. Yeah, they are just different capitalized or maybe space or comma, anything. So you shouldn't add items like that. If it's the same, even if it's like has capital or has comma, you should show the error message. The user's original input is saved in the database. So whatever was in the database still stay there. That's it. It's not the new item that will be added, but the one that was there. Note there are a couple of ways to approach this task. If you are not sure how to begin, ask your mentors for advice. And that's it for the issue. Any question about this issue? Okay, I will move to the next issue, which is the complicated one. So as an item, I want my estimate next purchase date to be computed at the time my purchase is recorded in the database, so the app can learn how often I buy different items. In order to advise users about when to purchase things, the app needs to be able to calculate guess and start in a future date. So the calculate estimate function from the Collab shop list. This is the npm package you can install. Will help us know how many days in the future a purchase should happen. This library you can find it. You can just like Google it and it will show up. And also there is a code, like the function itself. This is the function itself. If you want to take a look at it, what it's doing, just to I believe better to understand what it's doing so you can complete stuff. But I mean, it's not necessary. So if you want to enter here, just go to the GitHub repo, and then inside the source, this calculate estimate, or I can show you the link directly, whatever you want. This is not part of the issue, but I think it's better to understand what the function do and what argument it takes. I will drop the link, so it's better for you to just navigate there if you want to. I will drop it later. So the calculate estimates function from the Collab shopping list HL model will help us know how many days in the future a purchase should happen. In order to use calculate estimate, we need to know how many days have passed since the time the item was last purchased. So you just need to know how many days has passed from the last purchase. Acceptance criteria. A get days between dates function is exported from ETL's dates and imported into API Firebase. So we need to create a function, get days between dates. Sorry, inside the dates file in the ETLs, and then exported it and imported in the API Firebase. This function takes 2 JavaScript days and return the number of days that have passed between them. So just the difference between 2 dates. I believe that's what it's doing. When the user purchases an item, the item's date next purchased property is calculated using the calculate estimate function and saved to the Firestore database. Date next purchased is saved as a date, not a number. So you need to save this as a date. After calculating it, you need to save it as a date, not number. Note, working with Firestore dates. Firestore returns date as a special objects called timestamps, and you will need to convert the timestamp to a JavaScript date in order to work with it and complete this feature. The timestamp object has a .toDate method, say the Firestore docs. So you can check the Firestore docs to learn about timestamps and how and what functions you can use. Sorry, my internet is really terrible. So here is there is so many functions you can use on the date you get from Firestore. So toDate, 2 milliseconds, and you can read the talks. Calculating the time between JavaScript dates. Compile and manipulating JavaScript dates is notoriously tricky. Here is a hint. All date objects have a getTime method. You already have used that. That returns a representative of that date in milliseconds. So basically, we'll convert them in milliseconds, then do the calculation. This calculation will be inside this function, getDates between dates, that you will create. Calculating the next purchase date. The Collab Lab Shopping List ATS model should already be installed in your project, so you need to install it. And this model exports calculate estimates. Calculate estimates accept 3 arguments, and they are in order: the previous estimate, the last estimated purchase interval, decision number, days since last purchased, and the number of days that have elapsed between the last purchase date and now. You will need to figure out how to calculate these arguments. So you need to calculate it. And the total purchase, this is already in the database, this total purchase, the total number of purchase made for the item. Given this information, calculate estimate returns a whole number indicating the number of days until the user is likely to make their next purchase. Okay, I know this issue is super confusing with all of this last purchased and next purchased and all of it, but does anyone have any question?
I think any team that will take it, we just need to go back and then go through it again, digest it well and everything. Then if they're confused about something, then we can talk about it.
You can, yes, of course. So who want to take this issue?
How are they paid? Can you open how they are paid this week?
I guess let's start with the MIDI. Let me check. Can't find. Okay, there it is. And this is, yeah, Questa and MIDI and
Go back
Victor
to
with
it, please.
Michelle.
All right, all right.
Okay, so MIDI already worked on. It's
But then
Michelle
Michelle
also-
is also there.
Michelle also works on it.
They can,
So-
if anyone has preferences, you can assign them. Then if not, you can just do the first people, the first issue, the second people, the second issue.
Yes.
And would you guys be interested to take one of the 2 points that we discussed either the thing for the date or the other one for the direction, along with that ticket.
I guess
right.
we will.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Okay.
Costa.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, she can protect the route. And what was going? Any preference, or should I just?
All right. You can just
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
different people. Our collabies are equal to the task. They don't mind. Anyone you give them is okay.
Okay.
Don't worry, guys. We are in
So,
this together. All of us
okay.
together.
So, Midi, are you okay with going through a complicated task again? I mean, the other task is also not easy, but so if yes, I can assign you with Claysta to this issue. I don't know.
Well, I believe I'll learn, so it's fine.
Okay. Uh, I already assigned, but and Rachel, are you okay with that? I think you are.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Vector. Okay, that's it.
All right.
And yes, I will drop the link for that function. That this is optional, just if you want to see how like.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we'll give you time to go through it once more tomorrow or anytime, and then we can talk more about them, the issues on Slack. Anyone works. And then I think Aristos, you reach out to them on Slack for office hours, right?
Yes, I have already prepared my message to send it once we are done with our meeting. So
Alright.
yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. And Rada is doing code review
Yes.
this week. All right. All right.
Perfect.
All right. So you guys should remember that we are in this together, okay? So just come back to us with anything. All right. Bye. Have a
Bye.
great week.
Bye.
Bye.